G'day, welcome back. Last week you saw this large beam arrive for Brupeg. This is going to become our I-beam gantry crane that runs down the length of Brupeg's saloon. We need to start building and designing this so that we can lift heavy things out and into the engine room. This is our hatch that we're pulling up to move all of the equipment in and out, and the beam allows us to do this. There's only 4 screws that hold that table on. We can get rid of that, then we can get rid of the hatch, and then we can lift things in and out. Now, how are we going to lift something that's really, really heavy out of the engine room? On the roof here, you can see we've got this solid beam running down here, then we've got a gap here. This is actually what's known as a soft spot in the roof. It's the same size as that hatch, so 1 metre in this direction, 3 metres in that direction there. And if we need to, we can cut that part of the roof out and just lift something in and out directly with a crane. We're not going to do that. That's our plan B, but we don't want to do that because we have to re-weld the roof if we go down that road. And that's why there's a gap between these two beams as well. So this beam carries on. This is a really solid piece of 6mm, 100 by 50mm with 6mm wall. Goes all the way out. You can see it extending right the way out to the very back of the boat.
There's a hatch here in the saloon floor. There's about 200 bolts, and we sick them down, and Dennis and Damien have got that ready to move, and Duncan's going to help Dennis do the last bit of that, and then that's the first thing we're going to pull on the gantry that's going to run above here on the beams.
Show you my blueprint. So we've got a forward beam, 3.5 metres, and we've got a rear beam of 2.7 metres. This is I-beam. I-beam is going to starts about here somewhere roughly, and it bolts onto this beam up here, and it essentially runs right the way down to the door and stops. And we're going to be using what's called acros. Some people call them screw stands, but basically a vertical pole that goes down onto the ground to support the weight. The beam itself is going to be bolted to the roof. We'll have another acro down this end here. So it runs to this part of the boat and stops. Then we're going to essentially drop the engine down and let it sit on the ground. We're going to have a second piece of beam starting out there and running all the way to the back of the boat. We'll move the trolley and the chain block across onto that beam, and then lift the engine, which will be sitting just down here, basically over this lip that you can see in the ground here. So it's a wee bit of a complicated manoeuvre, but it's how we get big stuff in and out of the boat. We've taken a sunken fishing trawler and converted her to a community-funded expedition and research boat crewed by volunteers from around the world.
Because life's too short not to fight for your dream.
So the plan is to cut this into 2 lengths so that we can split it at the rear doors on Brupeg. .7. So we've got the square bolts, and we're thinking of going over top of the beam that's in all the way down the centre line in the saloon there. But these are 2-inch wide, so they fit 2 inches in there. By the time you add on all the width of the bolt itself, they're right on the edge of this beam. It's a 3-inch wide beam. So there's 2 ways we can attack it, right? We can cut a little bit out, scallop a wee bit out, and then slide it and cut a hole through the centre in here, slide it through and do that, and make a bridge and bolt it upside down. Or my preference is to be this way round and do some sort of something in here. I'm kind of thinking almost like scallop it out, get some scrap 6mm, drill some holes that go through it, and I'll just weld the 6mm onto the beam, because then I don't have to do, it's easier to do that. I don't have anything sticking up into the roof that's got weird things to bolt on.
Is that the right width for the...
It's easier, yep.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it fits it perfectly.
Yeah.
Really?
We were hoping it fit a little bit so we could caulk it a bit, but there's no room for that.
So close, eh?
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is basically make it essentially like a heavy thick steel washer for these, and then I'll just plasma out a blip, and I'll just put the washer underneath it and weld it into that blip.
Doing a bit here and
So
then a bit there.
you cut a bit out of here, just plasma a blip either side, because you want it flat for the nut to sit up hard against. You don't want to go on an angle or anything funny. It's just too close, eh? Like it's so close.
Annoying,
yeah. If it was 4-inch, it probably would have worked perfect, but I don't even know if you can get that.
It's a bit of work, isn't it?
Bit of fab work.
How many have you got to do?
Probably about 10.
Oh yeah.
So 20, because you got 2 on every one.
Yeah, right. It's good that you're in the shade at least. That's good.
So actually that solves it. That's what we need to do, is basically cut 20 lengths of this and drill 20 holes, and then we'll just put them underneath like a big flat washer, and I'll just weld it on.
I'm just going to mark them off, leave them all one length, and I can drill them easier. I can hold on to it easier.
Yeah, great.
That's cool.
Makes sense?
Yeah, nice solution.
Yeah, it doesn't move at all though. That's what's good. It fits nice and snug to it.
You can't ask for more. It's going over the beam.
Send it.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
So you go here and you center it where you are, and then you center it where every hole's going to be, and then the drill won't drift. Yeah. Okay, so you got this one done. Hey, looking good, man.
Amazing, eh?
Thank you. The drill looks good too.
Can you actually see properly, James?
I can see with these. I can't see with my safety
no one
glasses.
knows Damien actually wears glasses.
Yeah.
Oh my God, when you were cutting, I was at the other end of it.
Yeah.
And it was just like absolutely, the resonance was just like deafening, but it was really cool sound.
Nice.
The camera probably didn't get it because the sound was down with you, not me, so it was very cool. Throw you down a slice of chicken or something. How's that for sound?
What, like feeding a gannet? You throw it down from up top and I just stand there with my mouth open.
Yeah, it's the image I had.
Yeah. So these beams are 3-inch wide, and the bolts that we're going to use, these ones here, are 2-inch wide. So if we were to drill these to bolt on like so, the bolt holes are going to fall out the side of this piece of 3-inch section here. So what we're going to do, we're making essentially washers. I'm going to plasma out some little scallops out of each side here, plenty of clearance, and then over the back, Dennis is drilling 20 or something holes, and then we're going to chop the length of steel into 2-inch long bits and weld that on the underside of this top lip, and then that is essentially going to become the beam. So we'll have there's a hole in that piece of steel that Dennis is making. This bolt hole will go through the clearance holes that I make with the plasma cutter and into the precision holes that he's making. Those pieces of steel will be welded onto this, so they're not going to come loose, and they will hang out the side ever so slightly, just so that we've got plenty of steel around this bolt hole to take the load. There are 2 really important rules when it comes to plasma cutting, and the first is look cool. Dennis is over the back grinding lots and lots of these up. Basically it's just a piece of 6mm plate with a hole in it. These are going to be welded like that, so actually probably that way around with the shiny side so that we can actually do some welding. But we need to weld them in essentially that way, probably just like that, and that's going to be how we hold this beam to the roof. This beam is upside down at the moment. Let's do one at each end and then we'll use that as the guide to do all of the others. How far out?
It's not flush. This is not flush.
How far out would it be?
16th.
That's half of 3mm, so 1.5mm. Okay, good. Let's put that in there and this one in here and clamp up against it, and it gives us. So I'm thinking like something like that. So.
Oh, okay.
So that we can get this perfectly in line with each other, because the bolts have to be absolutely perfect in line because the beam is straight. So what we're thinking is basically clamp this straight edge on like that with the bolt there, and then every new bolt that we weld in, the new spacer thing that we weld in, we can just weld it in with the bolt laying flat on that. So we just need to make sure the bolts are sitting perfectly flush and flat, and then we're good to go. So can I get you to clamp, I'll hold this on like so. Can you clamp that? Is that vertical there?
It's a little out.
Okay, so let's whack it straight.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
Okay. So Dennis has gone through and he's grinding up all of the rubbish and fluffy stuff off it. And we're making it rollable so that we can fit this to the beam. This is a roller trolley that we can put the chain block onto and therefore move heavy weights along the length of the beam. We're hoping it's going to get here today. We ordered it from eBay about a week ago, but we're sort of thinking it ain't going to be here and we just got to press on. Yeah. Coming off quite well there. But basically what he's trying to get to is make sure that it rolls perfectly. So this surface here is where it rolls. So we want that to be spot on. I think it'll be good now. Next step is getting this big old hatch up. So you can sort of see there's a ring of bolts that work their way right the way around. Goes underneath the table and back over. So it's from that side to this side is 3 meters and it's 1 meter in that direction there. But once we've got that hatch up, we've got pretty much full access to the engine room. So there's about 26,000 bolts that hold this on.
Go ahead, keep going. Yeah, you got that one? You got it? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Is there any more?
That's that whole side done.
Just a second.
No worries.
Okay, try that.
You right there?
Try that.
I got 7 more on that side and that's free. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Blimey.
You're gonna have to just break it off, you know.
Yeah. Hey. We probably won't use that one again. Oh, there we go, that works well. You can kind of get under it with a chisel edge sort of thing, eh? So we are lifting the hatch. We've got about 200 of these bolts. We need to clean them out. So there's an Allen key socket that goes into them and there's lots of paint and stuff like that. So we've got a little electrical screwdriver that's kind of the right size. And it just seems to be working well to clean them out. Then Dennis is able to come through with this little machine and do that. And that's what we need to do to all of them. What we do need to do is go through and clean up all of the sicca that's right up on this edge. You see here it's basically watertight. So in order to do that, get a knife, zoom a knife down the edge of it like so, and that's enough to break it. Because it's not holding the lid down, it's just basically stopping the water from going down into the engine room, if we ever get water over this. So once we've got that, there's not a huge amount of strength left in it, we should be able to crack this off. Yeah, perfect. So is it worth having a go just trying to leave it?
Shooting pool, crack a jack, take off now, don't look back, but hey, don't you wanna play? Why you look so sad? Come on now, mama, ain't nothing here so bad. You got fast cars, movie stars, party on down the street. With Mary Jane, little cocaine, lay it down there. Double down, throw some dice, take off now. Don't think twice, but hey, now don't you want to? Baby, go on.
Jess is trying to stop the animals from getting out.
I need an animal gate.
Yeah,
Like
so
a baby gate.
she's using an ammo box and all of the camping supplies she can muster up. But the dog's trapped, so you know, it's working.
Yeah, got it.
So we added some safety.
Slow down, mama, why you talk so mean? Good Lord, man, shit, it ain't what you say. Got a nice coat, nice shoes, boogie down at the bar. Fiddle tunes and homemade booze, but it always goes too far. Shoot and pull, crack a jack, take off now, don't look back, but hey.
Hook it up into that loop above you.
Yeah, no worries. I haven't got this one hooked.
You're right, you're right.
There we go.
Oh, that's loose.
You need more?
Yeah.
Oh, let's
Just ratchet it a little bit, Jess, if you can. Just keep going.
We probably should stop acting so surprised with things.
Set a precedent.
It should be. Oh, cool. Yeah. If you hit it, if you
But when that dolly goes up, that'll be.
If he puts his hair up though.
Just don't
If I get
stand
a
up
top
tall.
up.
Yeah. Or a stegosaurus.
It always is.
And you can cut out the sections, I suppose, we don't.
Yeah, it's very slow.
Yeah, I'm happy to lift it. And you
Oh, pressure.
You're right, just go take one.
And you like to hear it, doesn't it?
Right, you good?
Sound good, there you go, Jess.
Good stuff, Jess.
Thanks.
That's great. That's gone.
That's good.
Roof didn't deflect at all.
It works.
All right, now let's get one of
this
this.
is
I
fantastic.
love your design.
Maybe. Oh,
This is better than expected.
Yeah, it is hot. Yeah,
It's not that. I mean, that's not that high. We might get it past the
no,
ground.
I reckon we're fine.
That'd be cool, eh?
That's
man,
awesome.
okay.
That's fantastic.
All right.
It's pretty heavy.
Okay, ready, Jess? Okay, back there.
That's it. Perfect.
Okay, all right. All right, so up there, guys.
I'm not going to get my fingers in there.
No.
No one put fingers.
Hang on. Let me do it with
Yeah,
a
that's
thing.
right. Perfect.
Can you pull that?
Got it. Yep. Can I make it single or doing a double?
No, it stays double.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Okay.
You're cool. Yep.
That's it.
Go as far forward as you can. All right, can you? Yep, got him. Okay, let's hook that one back on.
Hey! I'm right there.
Oh, hey. Oh. Why don't we just do that? Lovely work.
Look at this guy. Talk about fast.
like right at the back or something, and go almost horizontal. That'll give us enough angle to pull it. The handle, yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really awesome.
So that's what
a great show.
that's what I'm thinking for everything. If we haven't got the thing, we'll just do that.
Hey, and we've also got a set now.
Yeah, we got a ramp.
We've got a ramp.
Yeah.
Ah, I see, that bit there broke. Yeah. Okay, good. More on this next week.